Bow now, wow, wow, wow. Da-na-na-na. What's up, y'all? Philyfli Show checking in here, kicking in at Right Way Production Studios, and we are back for another week of the Philyfli Show and some more UFC fights and more gambling and winning that money. Money, money, money. All right, so last week we had UFC Fight Night, Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez. Yes, the Philyfli Show host got the main event wrong. Don't kick him in the nuts right now. Not on purpose. Things happen. But man, what a show we got, man. Jared Cannonier anytime I think it's over and it's done with for him, bam, dude just shows me up that a 40-year-old can go in there and knock some heads in. Because the guy he knocked out, oh my God. No, there's only two guys that have done it so far. And each guys that have done it, I wouldn't say it's random, it's just, he goes on this run and then all of a sudden he gets knocked out. It's like the last time, four fight win streak or something like that. Bam, knocked out. But Gregory did lose. Jared Cannonier put on a show. We went 8 for 12 on that, so good on the Philyfli Show. But we did fail on that parlay, so we are gonna skip the parlay this week because man, it's a little frustrating. The guy that lost was part of the Bomb Fiend fighter brothers. The second half won. The first one got it for me, but the second one didn't do it. But there's some good fights on there. That was not a bad card if you stayed in and stayed tuned. It was an Apex card, which for me the Apex cards it's time to move on from the Apex. I don't even like going there and watching a card anymore. I just want to watch them in cities all over the world like we used to. Every single time, every single fight night, every single event should be in an arena with a lot of fans. It makes it that much better. So this week on the Philyfli Show, it's UFC Fight Night. Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. Bantamweight fight. Henry coming on a 2-fight lose streak. Song Yadong looking as good as ever, like always. Dude's gonna be fighting for a championship eventually. I think he's gonna be champion personally. Let's get it. Let's jump right into the card here. We got a 12 matches in this fight card. Prelims, main card. Main card has 5, so prelims have 7. We'll jump into it. Match like number 12, Modestas Bukakas versus Rafael Sequeira. Rafael is a plus 230 underdog, whereas Modestas is a negative 280 favorite. It's a light heavyweight fight. If you don't know who Modestas Bukakas is, go look him up. Great prospect. He's not losing this fight, guys. Not big W, but big way to start off the night with a good fight and a guy who's I think he's going to get a finish, but 3 out of 5 on the confidence level, and Modestas gets his hand raised after the fight. Now, jump to the middleweight division in the middleweight men's division. Jeez, this whole card is all males, so no females on this one. Very shocking. Don't understand why there's no females on this card. I'm very, very shocked. But we do have a fight here in Nursultan Ruzabek and Eric Mosiano. Now, Eric is a plus 240 underdog, and Rubovich is a negative 300 favorite. Rubovich has a loss on his record, but man, that guy's got two very, very good wins under his belt. Looks like he's the real deal. I'm going to go Rubovich with a 4 out of 5 on the confidence level that he gets his hand raised. Eric is a UFC prospect making his UFC debut against a tough guy to fight. So definitely going to be putting my money on Rubovich on a finish and W. Let's get it. Let's make that money. Match like number 10 here is a catchweight bout between two older fighters. One made his UFC debut in Nikolay Vitrinov, and then Austin Vanderford is the other guy. It's a catchweight fight. It's a pick'em on each side, negative 110. Like I said, Nikolay made his UFC debut and lost his last fight. Austin's making his UFC debut. They're both on the tidbit older side for making your debut in the UFC, but hey, still could become champion even at that age. We've seen it before. Look at last week, and Jared Cannonier at 40 years old, still killing it. So it's a pick'em fight. I didn't know anything about these guys. I had to do very small research on one side. The other side didn't get that much info. So because he made his UFC debut and the jitters won't be there, I'm going to go on the Nikolay Vetrimnov side with that negative 110. But only 1 out of 5 on my confidence level that he gets his hand raised. All right. Next match leg is match leg number 9. It's a bantamweight fight between Ricky Simon and Javid Basharat. Now, this is a good fight to be on the prelims. I'm thinking they're just trying to get people's eyes on here because this is not a slouch fight. Javid just took his first loss of his career last fight. He's a negative 260 favorite, whereas Ricky Simon's at plus 210. Dude, Ricky's got great grappling, great striking. His only problem ever has been his gas tank and dudes that are just better than him at the time. That's his only downfall. So now he's going to go and fight a guy who's supposed to be really good, took his first L, and is kind of facing his first dish of adversity. Yeah, I'm going to go with Ricky Simon and the UFC vet here. Granted, Javad Best has had some UFC fights, so he's not a slouch, but when you're fighting a guy like Ricky Simon who's that good in all skill sets in MMA, it's going to be a tough night for you. So I'm going to go with Ricky on that plus 210, but I'm only 1 out of 5 on the confidence level he gets his hand raised because Javad Basharat is a beast. All right. Match leg number 8 is a middleweight fight between Mazir Abdul Malik and Nick Klein. Now, Nick Klein's making his UFC debut. He's a plus 750 underdog, biggest underdog on the card. Biggest favorite would be Mansur, then with that negative 1,500. So even though I don't think Mansur, there's no way he loses this fight, 4 out of 5 on the confidence that he gets his hands raised. It's just, when you make your UFC debut against a prospect that's that good, jeez, they got big hopes for both of these guys. So let's see a good fight here. I hope it's a little closer than what it is, just to give us a little scare, but it'll be fun to jump all over that one there and watch that fight. All right, match leg number 7 here. Jeez, we are kind of going a little quick here. I might have to throw a parlay together just to add some time to this. No, I got an idea here. At the end, I'll talk about something that kind of happened in the UFC. So match leg number 7, jump back here, featherweight fight. Andre Touchy-Feely versus, I want to make sure I say this guy's name right, Mikael Costa. Now, Costa's a negative 120 favorite. Andre Touchy-Feely is the plus 100 underdog. Now, Touchy-Feely is a great UFC vet. Been in a lot of fights. Been in the UFC a long time. Came in really, really young. Costa is young, but Costa is part of that Shooter Box camp. But he's had a roller coaster for a UFC career so far. I really like Costa's game, and I really love Shooter Box. I know Team Alpha Male can kind of be a drag sometimes, but man, I'm going Andre Touchy-Feely, dude. That dude's got hands, good MMA skill set, a lot of fights under his belt. I just think he can get the W. My only downfall on this is Costa can submit people. I just hope that Touchy-Feely doesn't get into a submission somehow. I don't think he does, but let's just say it gets to the ground and he gives up his back. That's not good. So I'm going to go with the plus 100, but I'm actually pretty confident that Touchy-Feely gets his hand raised. I think if Costa tries to stand with Touchy-Feely, it's going to be a bad night for him. So we're going to go with that. And then we get our featured prelim bout of the evening. It's a light heavyweight bout between Ian Cutelaba and Ibo Aslam. Ibo is a negative 180 favorite, whereas Cutelaba is a plus 150 underdog. Dude, Ian Cutelaba in his last 2 fights has shown that he has figured out that his gas tank is his issue, and he's just got to slow down his brutalness that he tries to put on people. He used to just put it on you in that first couple minutes, and then the rest of the fight, it was just a coast. But as of late, figured out the gas tank a little bit and just not throwing as many strikes and trying to go for it right from the beginning. Problem is, he's going to have a guy on Ebo on the other side who's going to go for it from the beginning and try to push him to do it. And that was going to be set up the bad night for Ian Cutelaba. I think Ebo gets a very big win here. And we start seeing some more big names thrown at his way. 3 out of 5 on a confidence level that Ebo gets his hand raised. All right, we're jumping to the main card here, trying to get a little more energy in here. Light heavyweight division we're jumping to. We get Alonzo Minefield versus Julius Walker. Plus 210 on Julius Walker. And negative 260 on Alonzo Minefield. Now, Minefield is coming off 2 losses. One to Carlos Ulberg and then Merzovic. he's got some very, very good fights under his belt. He just he has a gas tank issue, just like most guys with muscle. In the third round, just doesn't ever bring it enough. Now, Walker making his UFC debut, that's a tough guy to ever put against somebody. Young guy in Julius Walker's hasn't lost a fight yet, but he's about to find out who Alonzo Minefield is, and that dude hits hard. So, I'm going to go with Alonzo Minefield on this one. 1 out of 5 on the confidence level that he gets his hand raised, just because Julius is an undefeated fighter, and sometimes these prospects, they come up and they're the real deal, and I don't see it. That's a tough fight to win for Julius against Alonzo Minefield, man. All right, featherweight bout here for the next one. We get to see the Fighting Nerds back, or somebody from the Fighting Nerds. We get Gene Silva versus Melsik Bahadarson. Now, Bahadarson is a plus 375 underdog. Gene Silva, negative 550 favorite. If you don't know who Gene Silva is, you are slouching on some of these up-and-comers because this dude's bringing it. This dude's got the cannon. Hey, man, let's look here. Let's just pull it up. I want to tell you this firsthand. Dude has 3 UFC fights, all 3 finishes. One against W. Wilson, who I don't know who that is offhand. Then he beat Charles Jourdain, who is no slouch, and Drew Dober. Yeah, the guy's got it. He's got that spark. Do not sleep on this fight. This is a banger fight and a finish fight for me. Somebody's going to sleep here. Now Malesic in his UFC, he's only lost to Josh Coolbaugh, and his wins are against decent prospects, but he's going to have a tough time against Gene Silva. I'm going Gene Silva with a big W here with a finish. And if you haven't seen Gene Silva fight before, tune in because you're going to see some fireworks. All right. Match link number 3 is a catchweight bout for Rob Font and Gene Matsumoto. Now, Matsumoto is an undefeated fighter. He is no slouch. The UFC has big hopes for him. He's got big wins under his belt for his first couple fights. He's fighting a UFC vet in Rob Font. Rob Font could be the next gatekeeper for the bantamweight division. Mainly because if you got grappling, you can beat Rob Font because he has showed that he is not a great grappler and has no grappling defense. And let me guess, Gene Silva here, known for striking and grappling. Being an all-around MMA fighter. Wonder how that's going to go here. All right, so Rob Font, plus 135 underdog. Gene Silva. Sorry, Gene Silva's the last guy to fight. They're both named Gene. It's throwing me off. Gene Matsumoto, negative 160. I'm going Matsumoto with a big win here. I think it's a bad night for Rob Font, and I think Rob's going to be the next gatekeeper of the bantamweight division, if you couldn't tell with my little foreshadow there. All right, co-main event of the evening is a middleweight fight. It's a banger fight. Don't miss this fight, guys. 2 big middleweights. Brendan Allen, plus 255. Anthony Hernandez, negative 330 favorite. Don't let those 3-1 odds fool you. Anthony Hernandez is a dog. He'll fight you any way. He can grapple. He can strike. He's not going to submit you. He's just going to ground and pound you if he starts grappling with you. But he's got crazy power in his hands. Crazy good hands. Brendan Allen, he's an all-around MMA skill set guy. He can grapple. He can submit you. He can throw hands with you, too. He's got some crazy good power. His downfall is his striking's not super crisp. So, he has a really small downfall. Something he can work on and figure out in his life. I just think fighting at middleweight and how big he is, he's just got to get that gas tank going and get a little bit of better striking. Could be the next top 5 competitor, whereas Anthony Hernandez is a top 5 competitor. I see it in him already. I'm going Anthony Hernandez with this win, but it could go either way, guys. It's a puncher's chance for each dude because they both can hit and they both can fight. All right, so we got up to the time frame that I was kind of going for, so we won't have to do the little extra thing that I was going to do. I was just going to pick a couple of extra finishes and fights here. But, we won't do that tonight. So, we get to the main event of the evening. It is Henry Cejudo, Song Yadong. Kind of went over it a little bit already. Look, Henry's on a 2-fight skid. Last time he went on a 2-fight skid, he went and became champ. Not saying he's going to do that again. I'm just saying do not slouch some of these UFC vets. Only reason I'm on the downside of Henry is because he took the time off. Until he shows me he's that same fighter, I'm not going to jump on board with it. All right. Plus 220 on Henry Cejudo, negative 270 on Song Yadong. Song is so good in like every aspect of his game. When he first came up, he's kind of just known as a little bit of a grappler with good striking. So he went and worked on his striking. One was knocking dudes out. Then everyone talked about his grappling game. So then he started submitting some dudes. He started showing off his grappling game. And then he's just kind of put it all together and been on a crazy good win streak, to be honest with you. My phone's taking a second here to load up for whatever reason. Like I said, Henry's also 38 years old, so if he loses this fight, it's over for the UFC career for him. Oh, Song ran into his first buzzsaw and his first bad loss. He fought Peter Yan. Peter Yan's no slouch. Peter Yan's a top competitor. Song will get back there and learn from it. Song did lose to Corey Sandhagen on a doctor's stoppage, but things like that happen. Small little cut in the ring. Couldn't finish the fight. Things like that happen, but he has beaten some dudes up badly. Like Chris Gutierrez. It was a decision win, but he beat him down. Just destroyed Ricky Simone. I mean, Song has got so many names on his record. It's so nice. I can't wait for him to add another one in Henry Cejudo, because that guy Song Yadong is going to be champion, and it's going to start with this run here. He's going to get that W back, and we are going to see a good fight here on Saturday. Now, if you haven't shared this with your friends or anyone, subscribe, share it with your homies. Shout out to Right Way Production Studios for always making this happen. And we will see you next week. We still got a couple weeks till a good pay-per-view, but the next couple weeks have some good fight nights coming up. So do not miss this. And the Philyfli show's out here to make y'all money. Peace!